We've hit a few speed bumps on the way to financial redemption with our pressure canner here. The last video ended with us at $215.64 as our deficit. Things have happened since then. First, I convinced myself that I needed a second canner rack so that I could double-decker my cans. If I'm going to take the effort to spend most of the day getting something canned up, I want to be able to get more every time I do it. So this was very expensive. So that one was $16.36. I got myself some more jars from the thrift store, 4 of them for $4.63. And then we had some losses. We said goodbye to some really good beans, or what I assume was probably really good beans. The black beans from the first video, I ended up putting in the compost. I am not 1000% sure that I did the full 10 minutes of venting, of steam venting, before I started the timer to pressure can the beans. And saving $4 was not really worth it to me if the risk is botulism. And while I could have taken the boiling method where I open the can of beans and boil it for 15 minutes and then eat it, I didn't want my family to have to remember to do that for these cans of beans. So we no longer have the $4 saved for that, but we also need to count the $3 that I spent buying those beans that then went into the compost. So I'm still learning how to use this equipment, and it's a little bit rough. And then one of our cans of refried beans from the last video ended up being a loss. I don't know what happened, but it started turning a different color, and the lid popped right off when I touched it. We lost $1.15 for that, which means that we are now at an equipment deficit of $244.78. And if you've been following along, that is $20 more than the deficit that we started with. But I'm only about 80% discouraged, and I'm very excited for the next canning project, which is free beans. These beans, well, these ones, I actually grew myself, which means that they are completely free. These ones I technically did buy, but I bought them like 5 years ago, and then forgot about them because they've been sitting with my other seeds. But I think at this point they are too old to be viable for planting, so we're just gonna eat them. I also have 2 pounds of garbanzo beans. So you can see why I wanted to have the ability to double deck my cans, because we've got a lot to get through tomorrow. And also what is going to happen tomorrow is that after these beans, both of them, have been soaking, I'm going to plant them so that then we can get through this deficit even faster, because it's all profit. So if you'd like to join me in planting these, stay tuned for that video. And in the meantime, I will see you tomorrow after these have been soaking. let it steam for a full 10 minutes before we started watching for the pressure to build. Then we processed it for 75 minutes. Afterwards, I let it cool down, and I didn't take this guy off until the little dropper dropped. And it's been 10 minutes since then, which is what my instruction booklet says is a good enough time to find out how they did. Top level is looking promising so far. Some physics in action. Those bubbles. How do I get that out? Wow, they all processed without exploding, I think. It's looking very promising so far, and I am inordinately pleased that it worked out so well. I had the exact amount of beans, almost, for a full pressure canning set. I probably couldn't do that again if I tried. So I'll see you in 12 hours to see how many of them gets to count towards our deficit. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Let's see how we did. Ooh. One of the beans didn't make it. We'll eat you later. All right, garbanzo beans did 100% success rate, which is great. I paid $2.04 for the 2 pounds that this made, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 saved me $7. Well, it would have cost me $7 at the store, which means I saved $4.96 for these guys. And these guys, since they're just pure profit, are saving me $1 each. So they're saving me $6. We were so close to redeeming my first batch of black beans. So with that, we saved $10.96. Pretty good deal today. Subscribe if you want to follow along with this redemption journey, and thanks for watching.